It's 2026, a brand new year and a fresh new start for many. Brand new goals, new ambitions, and hopes. And amidst all this, I'm still here ranting about AI, how things never change. If you've been following the channel for a bit, you know this isn't the first AI video I've done. In fact, this is not even the second one, but the third. I've been watching this space quite closely, and the more time passes, the more comical it becomes. And if you've been watching my recent videos, you can probably tell that I'm just itching to talk about AI again. So here we are, and I promise you this is the last AI related video I'll do until maybe when the bubble pops. So, what has changed since the last time I made a video about AI? Well,
there's nothing.
If we're talking about how much better AI has gotten, not much. And most things like Sora AI, which is one of the big things that happened last year, remained the same, but arguably producing worse videos because the data they borrow are now just mostly videos also generated by AI, so it's a never-ending loop of increasing mistakes. So, AI has gotten worse. What about everything surrounding it? Ooh boy, it's spicy. One of the major things that sprung up thanks to the totally real, ever-increasing demand for AI in our lives is the astronomical rise of the price of RAM and SSDs. If you're in the PC Master Race community or just generally trying to search for an upgrade for your system, you know how bad it is. To put into perspective, OpenAI has about 40% of the entire world's RAM wafer supply that they can't even use yet and needs to be processed. It's gotten so bad that consumer RAM companies like Crucial completely tapped out of the consumer market to fuel this AI bandwagon, because apparently we can't live without this technology, and we've definitely never lived without AI. It's gotten to the point that Samsung can't even get RAM from themselves. So if you were in the market for an upgrade, you can either bite the bullet and spend more on a couple sticks of RAM than you did on your GPU, or wait until the prices drop, which would most likely take years. For the totally real and gigantic demand for AI and its monolithic cost to maintain and develop,
it costs $400,000 to
run AI
for 12 seconds.
You'd think it's actually being used for something useful, right? Something actually productive and useful to society that it warrants the billions of gallons of water used annually? Well,
imagine having a conversation with your loved ones after they've passed away. Well, now you can.
Nope. Like I've mentioned before, the technology itself hasn't had any major developments since last year, yet more and more data centers are being built, disturbing people who live around them and taking up so much PC parts that we are forced to use parts from previous generations. And what are we using AI for? Absolutely nothing. The only possible use case for the immense investment amount into this technology I see is for big mega corporations to find a reason to not hire human workers that need to be paid. ChatGPT exists and people use it to ask for recipes and roleplay like it's their significant other. Meanwhile, students use it to solve their homework without any hassle, and I'm sure that will not have any drawbacks in their academic prowess. Sora AI is literally just a slot machine, and everything else is just a rebrand of those two. The only AI I've seen that actually caught my attention is Google's Nano Banana Pro, which seems like it's using what looks to be a structured code language instead of mindless prompting, like if you're writing a script for a video or something. But does the unique way of prompting of it give any practical use? Nope. Just like how AI hasn't grown technically, its use cases hasn't grown either, and the world has definitely taken notice to this. Over the past half year, Microsoft has been aggressively pushing their Copilot AI onto their OS, literally rebranding Microsoft Office into a Copilot app. But even then, the usage of it hasn't increased, and they were forced to scale back their goals because of how little people were actually using this thing. So little, in fact, that Microsoft themselves are begging people to do something useful with AI, otherwise they'll lose their social permission, whatever the fuck that means, to burn electricity alongside to stop calling AI content slop. So let me get this straight. Let's do this one last time. Microsoft, one of the biggest tech companies in the world that owns the most widely adopted operating system, the people who are pushing so hard for AI that they so proudly say that their code is now written mostly by AI, and ever since that announcement, every Windows update has broken a different basic fundamental feature of the OS, from the file explorer to the task manager to the fucking power button. The company that makes an operating system for the PC that has been pushing the one reason why it is so hard to build a PC nowadays is saying to us, stop calling it slop and to use the technology for something useful when they can't even name what it is exactly good for. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm sorry, Nadella. When you put it that way, I still let it die.
Let it shrivel up and come on.
I just don't see how this facade is still being dragged on. It's clear if you go to any social media platform for less than half an hour, nobody likes AI. When a company uses AI for an ad, people hate it so much that they either have to completely delete it or lie their ass out of it, making a fake behind-the-scenes video to try to mend the backlash. No matter what is put out by AI, people will almost always hate it, and yet it still keeps going. Whether it's some stupid necklace that tells you shit, or a goon tube that gives you motivation to feel an anime girl, or a fucking monitor that literally cheats, it's all scrutinized, but they somehow still manage to pump one worse than the last. All this doom posting about AI, we're about to see some sort of light at the end of the tunnel by now, right? Well, actually there is a bit of good sign of what's to come. You know how basically everybody and their mother uses ChatGPT now? Well, even though the user base is a very high number, the revenue tells a different story. Most people who use ChatGPT has it for free because they don't need all this fancy $20-something a month of subscription because they need to solve a math equation this one night. Because of this sentiment, OpenAI in 2025 lost a total of around $23 billion and is projected to lose another $15 billion in 2026. Amazing. On top of this, just 2 weeks ago, Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, is seemingly pissed at OpenAI because of their behavior, leading to a $100 billion investment being halted, and I wouldn't be surprised if every investor is already calling their personal hitman after they learn that they're about to lose around $30 to $40 billion in just 2 years. AI as a technology was completely blown out of proportion in this bubble, being capitalized for everything that it should have not been used for. While I've seen a lot of usages for AI that are genuinely helpful, the AI that is leaching the most power in water is the ones that are responsible for shit like the ever-increasing attempt to induce mass surveillance in every corner of your life, from your messaging app to your fucking doorbell. And and while it may not be tomorrow that the AI bubble bursts, it definitely seems like that time is coming ever closer to an end, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to purchase RAM at a reasonable price again. As for how AI will look after a bubble burst, I don't really know. And frankly, I don't really care because I don't use AI in my daily life, unlike other people who are so into AI they basically treat them like family. We may just have found our first case of mass cyberpsychosis. Cyberpunk 2077 is becoming a reality, people, but frankly, only time will tell. What I am interested in though is the GPUs that will be left in the abandoned data centers. It'll be like Escape from Tarkov in those buildings. It's gotta be fun. But with that, the video comes to an end. Thank you for listening to me rant about AI again for the 3rd time. And while I may not have a 4th plan, let me know. Maybe you guys want another one where I cover specific topics. Leave them down in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching, and ChatGPT, can you generate me a quirky outro from my YouTube video?
I'm an untrained meteorologist. Damn. On the snow. Damn. I mean, it's in the streets. Damn.